And welcome back to the last What If in the week of What Ifs. And this is the part 15 part of the show. That sentence came out weird. This is part 15 of what if Naruto had a Rinnegan. So last we left off, Naruto and Hinata had just met up with Sasuke to help fight against Gaara, with Hinata delivering a pretty strong shot to Gaara, being, lightning style, gentle fist, him having a sand nature, well, whatever sand is. I think it's lightning and earth because of the Jinton, which is like magnet release. It's an alternate version of that, but basically meaning that it would disrupt some of Gaara's the stability of Gaara's sand. And Naruto telling Hinata to get Sasuke out of here, as he knows that Hinata can't take this guy on longer. He can tell. He knows that he's got the Shikaku, so it's like he's got a tail beast. Hinata can't take this guy on. But what is going on with Orochimaru in the third? We do need to address this because it's not the same. I mean, overall, the fight would go the same, but the interaction is different. So, Sasuke and Naruto will be mine, Sarutobi Sensei. How do you tell me? How long have you known the Rinnegan was in Konoha? To which Sarutobi's like, so he does know about it. To which this time, I think Sarutobi maybe breaks out of the Orochimaru's grasp, though more likely it's just he waits it out just like he did originally. I will not let the Naruto and Sasuke are none of your business, Orochimaru. But that's what you're wrong. Every jutsu is my business. The knowledge that the world can provide is my business, old man. I will be immortal. I will learn every jutsu that could be imaginable. And the shouting gun in Rinnegan are my tickets to that. Soundform make up the barrier, and their fight commences. Now, their fight does generally go the same. There's no real changes to that fight. Although, I think the third is maybe putting a little bit more effort in, and is giving Orochimaru a little bit of a harder fight, because he's not just protecting Sasuke now in the village. He is also protecting Naruto. And Naruto, he does have a bit of a bond with. I mean, it was never really flat out said they were like they were like grandfather and grandson. But it's clear Naruto and the third did have kind of a stronger relationship than your average Genin would with the Hokage. It's clear that the third had a little bit more love for Naruto than other people. Despite how, knowing Naruto could be... Oh, sorry, I'm just... Woke up a little odd. Not as bad as the last time I woke up odd. It's not like that whiplash effect, but it's close to it. As long as I don't do this too much, should be fine. But point being, that fight ultimately does, because it's coinciding what's going on with Naruto and Gaara. We know that. But that fight does ultimately end the same, but I think maybe Sarutobi puts a bit more effort in, and instead of just his arms going, Orochimaru's arms to his shoulders are going too. Like, his lungs are nearly are on the precipice of being, damaged. But ultimately, he takes a bit more of Orochimaru with him this time around. Maybe that's it, because he's got a little bit more incentive to pull out his entirety of his soul. Truth be told, if he had just, because we know he had pulled out about half of Orochimaru's soul before Orochimaru started to pull back. If he had just done that, he probably would have killed Orochimaru then and there. Although, with half of Orochimaru still being around, it's likely Kabuto would have figured out a way to bring him back. But then again, Orochimaru, when he died, Kabuto wasn't worried about that. He was worried about, oh no, I'm just going to use Orochimaru's tech, put the snake in me, and all that stuff. That sounded weird. Anyway, put the snake in you, Kabuto. You know you want it. Okay, this is a family channel. Actually, I mean, it's for everyone, but try to keep PG, PC. Though I do swear occasionally. I digress. So meanwhile, the big meat of this scenario is Gaara versus Naruto. It's like, Naruto is a Maki. Sasuke could not give me what I wanted, but you, yes, you give me what I want. I can see it in your eyes. The strength. Yes, you'll be the one that proves my existence. Naruto is a Maki. And then Naruto, I think, is actually looking at him, and he can relate because of the fox to what Gaara's gone through. So Naruto just drop is like, what happened to you? What happened to you to make you like this, Gaara? Now, I do think Gaara did go into a little bit of what went on with him. I do think that. But, I don't think he went into he never, went into his life story with Naruto at that point. He just more or less told us, oh, my father tried to kill me all the time. Gaara gets a bit more detail in this It's like, I told you before, that's not all of it, is it? It's like, it's very well. If you want if your dying man should know his killer's story, I suppose. Very well, I'll tell you. And then he kind of relays oh god, what was the name of the guy who we thought was his friend and then tried to kill him, but ultimately it was the fourth word. I can't remember his name. Point being, Yoshimaru or something like that. I think it began with a Y. I can't remember that, to be honest. Well, I know he explains like, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but you don't have to be what they made you to be. Look at me. It's like you're not the only one who holds a tail beast. I got the 9-tailed fox inside me, which Gaara actually pauses, like, because two containers can relate. Of course, Naruto tells that, and I thought for the longest time it was just me, but no, I mean, and he's grumpy. He's a bit of an ass, but I mean, he's really not all that bad from what I could tell. And even the fox hears this, like, the hell is he talking about? Not that bad. By the way, yes, I'm aware what happened in the most recent chapter of Boruto. I'm not going to say it for those who haven't read it, but I'll admit, I'm surprised they went that route. But it's like, not that bad. Who do you? And the fox, I think, even chimes in and says, "Who do you think you're talking about, Brett?" It's like, not now, Fox. You want to bitch at me later? Go ahead. But yeah, but if you want the quick answer, I'm busy. But if you want the quick answers, yeah, despite your attitude, you're not that bad. I haven't seen anything to say you're that bad. The fox is just kind of taking back this and just kind of was like, idiot. And just, yeah, whatever. It's like, not that bad. The Shikaku is a monster. And now Gaara is like, what the hell are you talking about? These things are monsters inside. They are demons that made us demons. This thing has tortured me my whole life. What are you talking about? I don't need to hear this. I don't. Yeah, the Shikaku mother wants your blood, and I want to feel it alive. Naruto Uzumaki, and just as he's going, Naruto just drops the pretense, and he loses. Like, fine, because he's like, if you need to understand this, fine. Look into my eyes and understand. Just Rinnegan full of blaze, just boom. Shinra Tensei, boom, just throws him. Basho Tenin, he just pulls Gaara back and just boom, slams in the Gaara Prita path, and just it starts sucking out. Now, to be fair, because he's a Jinchuriki container and the tail beast inside, that's a lot more chakra than your standard ninja is going to take. Rick, remember when the Prita path started to suck out Naruto's chakra, it still took a little bit for him to suck out the chakra, and then he had to suck out nature chakra, which bit him in the ass. But furthermore, we don't know what it's like when they use the Prita path to absorb tail beast chakra. That's not entirely true. We see a little bit, I believe, with Tensei Nagato, when he fights Naruto and B. Naruto, God, so many end names. A little bit. But yeah, it's that the Shikaku would take a lot more time, and Gaara can visit because Shikaku's chakra is now flowing through Gaara, remember. He doesn't take this form through his own chakra. This is Shikaku starting to manifest. My chakra, Shikaku, what is he doing? He's like absorbing it, and then he just blows air right in Naruto's face. It's like, I should have seen that coming from what I saw from his fight with Sasuke. And the Saiyan's starting to pour off and guards. Meanwhile, Tamari is watching him and says, like, how is he? That Naruto guy, he's talking. What's with him? And she can't see Naruto's eyes from here. I imagine she can tell something's different. And guards that's it. And all of a sudden the Saiyan's starting to wrap him around again. Even more chakra. So he takes on the full mini Shikaku form. Like, show me what you got, Naruto Uzumaki. Just throwing air bullets at him. Or would he be throwing air bullets? I mean, we saw Shikaku throw him, but those are giant air bullets because he's huge. I guess in theory, what Gaara would throw would also be air bullets. Just boo, boo, boo. And Naruto's just there's a mud wall. A mud wall appears on a branch, but it's cracking the mud wall. Like, this is Shikaku chakra coming at him now. Even though he's now got a big boosted chakra, he's still got to take that in consideration. It's cracking the mud wall, and the mud wall doesn't last very long. But he's got two clones coming around the side. Naruto, one fire style, fireball jutsu, wind style, gale pop jutsu, collaboration art. And again, I can't remember the name I gave it, but they both collide and starting to superheat the sand. But Gaara's sand just starts to, no, not to him. Shadow clone shuriken jutsu, and they start landing. He's just starting to he's starting to pummel Gaara. Gaara's like, no, there's no way. I'm gonna lose to a guy like him. Boom, Shikaku he falls into the full. Shikaku was like, I can't absorb that much chakra. Actually, you probably could, but it would take a long time. And Naruto's more like, I can't absorb that. This is not good. And Naruto's just, and Naruto's like, to thank you, I'll give you a quick death. And the sand cop starts to wrap around Naruto. Naruto's like, Shinra Tensei. And Naruto's just jumping on the tree, launching himself with the Gale Palm, just ninja art, animal path, summoning style, summoning jutsu. Boom! And the dog emerges. Just, it's like, I haven't summoned you before. Are you ready to do this, pal? Dog just gives a nod. And he realizes, like, I can see what the dog's seeing. He's got a Rinnegan too. What the hell? Meanwhile, now someone did bring this up. I don't normally I do like the think words here. Oh wow. What? I'm blanking on time. I'm using it every time. House cleaning. No, I do the house cleaning at the beginning. There's one thing we should address here. Is Nagato aware when the summons are summoned? Or can he see through the Rinnegan eyes of another Rinnegan user or the Rinnegan animal? So let's start with the first one. No, because we know for a fact there are multiple individuals of Rinnegan. The Otsutsuki's clan is multiple people with multiple Rinnegans. We can, we've seen multiple Rinnegans throughout the series. We've never seen two different people with Rinnegan, but that being said, Sasuke has a Rinnegan as well, and he didn't see it through the eyes of Kaguya or Madara. So, we have to assume no, they cannot see through the eyes of each other. Can they see through the eyes of the respective summons? I don't think so. Though we don't know if their summoning paths are connected. We can assume that they are in this case, but I don't know. That's a toss-up one. Right now, I'm going to say no. I think it's more because if you're not connected to another Rinnegan user, you probably won't be connected to the user of the summoning they have while they're connected. I think that's the catch. Now that being said, you could work a cool scenario where Nagato is seeing what's going on here, but I don't know that I won't argue with anyone who thinks that can happen. For the argument's sake, in this story, I'm going to say that someone using the summon is the one who can see through the eyes of the summon, not someone who hadn't already summoned the summon. Nagato, though, might be aware that a summoning took place, but that's about it. And he's trying to figure out he's trying to wonder, is there another Rinnegan out there? Is it possible? Meanwhile, Naruto and the dog are duking it out with Shikaku, who's finally going to say, you have father's eyes! How could you have those eyes? Where did you get those eyes? Tell me! And just smacks the dog, but the dog multiplies. You starts blasting the dog. Get her, you stupid mutts! I want to talk to you. You're not father. Who are you? It just starts to seal the dog away because that's what Shikaku is actually capable of doing. Those are we learned those are curse marks. Those are sealing marks on Shikaku. But Naruto immediately gets in, just the sand catches him, pre the path as he absorbs those chakra out of the sand. And just snaps Gaara's head back. Just knocks him in. He disrupted my jutsu. The dog dissipates. Naruto now is... Fortunately, he's absorbed a lot of chakra, so he's nowhere near as bad as you see him in the original series. But he is also... He's got to catch his breath. Like, he's putting a lot of effort in. Like, just because he's not really low on chakra thanks to the pre-path does not mean that he's not putting in a lot of physical exertions. Like, we don't have to do this. We don't die! And it's like, Naruto just charges. As he a zero path! Just cracks out of there with like the giant robotic arms, like multiples of them. Just Goma's Goro style from like the Mortal Kombat series. Get over here! By the way, I did see that. I don't do trailer reviews anymore just because the way YouTube working with copyright, I don't want to deal with that crap. But I did like that Mortal Kombat trailer. It was far better than any right being. Get over here! I am Sub-Zero. Freezing the blood, turning it there. That was awesome. There's your brief little review for Mortal Kombat trailer. But yeah, just boom, smacks Gaara. The sand, Shikaku dissipates. Meanwhile, Hinata's been taking care of Sasuke, who the curse mark has finally receded for him. And, he's just, Hinata's like, yeah, Sasuke, you're all right. Is it over? Yeah, it looks like it's over. Naruto and Gaara land on the tree. Again, Naruto is in far better shape here than he was in the original. So they're still doing the stare down. They just Naruto again, just boom, just gives that cracks him like he did because it's much more force, much more energy, much more power because he's in better shape. They land on the ground and Naruto lands on his feet, but I can imagine he stumbles. Just, it's like he kind of leans on it. It sits down for a little bit, takes his breath, and just kind of says, "Why stop? I will. Not my existence will be snuffed. I won't cease to exist. I won't." No, just looking. Gets up. Just like it's one of those days where you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be feeling this tomorrow." It's one of those scenarios where it's like, "No, stay back. Don't come any closer." So, yeah. And then he gives the speech. It's unbearable. It bearable, isn't it? The feeling of crushing loneliness. I've been there. I understand what you're going through. And then, that's it. But then I found people who saved me from my loneliness. They gave me meaning. They gave me purpose. What? No. But what? And I will protect them with my life. It's like, why? Why would you do this for anyone but yourself? Because they saved me from myself. That's a great monologue and stuff from Naruto there. That whole idea of people can. You don't just save people; people can save you. That scene is always when in the original Naruto. There's some great scenes. I love the Naruto overall, and Shippuden I think is really good. The fourth Ninja War, the final act of Naruto Shippuden, it's messy. Don't get me wrong; it's got great moments and it's got some great stuff, but it's messy. I won't lie. And obviously, I've given my take on Boruto. I don't pay attention that much, but I follow it from here and there, or here and there. But yeah, that was one of those moments that I'm like really kind of that always stuck up to me. That the talk no jutsu, but the great monologue. That's why. So I won't let anyone hurt the people I care about, even if I have to kill you. But Naruto's eyes, the Rinnegan just glowing and almost rage at Gaara. But Gaara's just like, ugh. But then Naruto just kind of like, just release it, and their jutsu pops back up. His eyes turn blue again. But I don't want to kill you. We don't have to kill each other. We can be friends. You can have friends. We can be friends. And Gaara just kind of like, friends. And Temari and Kankuro show up, and Naruto's standing there, and just they go over to Gaara. Like Naruto's just looking on. It's like, you can get out of here. That's enough. It's time to go. Temari, Kankuro, I'm sorry. Don't mention it, Gaara. It's like that was the first time he had ever said that to them ever. You could tell that too in that scene. And Sasuke shows up and Hinata shows up, and they both kind of catch Naruto. And so I was like, "Whoa!" It's like, "Oh, easy there. Naruto, are you okay?" It's like, "I'm all right." Even with the Preta path, that took a lot out of me. So let's get back. And so they head back, and obviously the death of the third. The third is there, and obviously they are dealing with the aftermath. They go to the funeral. Naruto and Hinata are holding hands, and it's very sad. And, they're comforting each other. They're all looking on in sadness, and obviously Itachi and Kasami show up. Now, seeing as we're only at 18 minutes, we can go a little bit into what comes next. So, obviously, the two, I can't remember their names exactly, the two advisors approach Jiraiya about being the next Hokage. Jiraiya's like, "Look, I'm not I'm not suited for it." But they're still adamant about Asani. There's another option. You're talking about Tsunade, but no one knows how to find her. Hey, don't worry about it. That's my job. I can find her, and I'd like to take someone with me. Now, remember, besides Sarutobi, the only people who know in the village who know about Naruto's Rinnegan, one of them's dead now, so that's actually less, is Jiraiya, Kakashi, Hinata, and Sasuke. That's it. I think Naruto might tell Haruka at some point because they're actually pretty close. But other than that, there's no one in the village who actually knows about Naruto's Rinnegan. So they just think of Naruto as a very exceptional student, surprisingly. They've got talented in the Jinchuriki of the Ninetales. So they maybe give some they probably did argue a little bit prior to that as well, but ultimately Jiraiya convinced them. It's like, "Hey, Naruto, what's up?" It's like, "Oh, Jiraiya, perfect sage." It's like, "Oh, come on. You ever going to stop calling me that? Ever going to stop being it?" "Never." Then I'm not going to stop calling you. But I call you Sensei every now and then. "So what's up, Sensei?" "Well, that's better. I got a little job. We got a little training trip to go on." It's like, really? Training trip? And Naruto's like, well, I mean, I gotta help the village out and stuff like that. I think this Naruto's a little bit more aware that, like, the third's gone. Remember, killing Gato definitely gave him a new perspective on things. Certainly gave him some perspective. But he's like, yeah, don't worry. There's enough ninja. And Jiraiya's actually surprised by this because it's like, what happened to the happy-go-lucky kid who just want to learn jutsu? Don't worry. There's plenty of ninja here. Kakashi's around. You don't have to worry about it, Naruto. Besides, you're gonna learn a cool jutsu, and you're gonna help us find the next candidate for Hokage. Really? And say, we're gonna go find the next Hokage candidate? Awesome. All right, let's go. So he lets Naruto and he lets Sasuke and Hinata know, and Kakashi Sensei. They're all made aware, and Hinata's a bum. He's like, oh, it's like, but Naruto's like, and Naruto realizes like, what about? And she's still shy to mention. It's like, Naruto realizes like, oh yeah, sorry about that, Hinata. With everything busy, I guess it kind of slipped my mind a little bit. And Naruto does feel bad. Like, but I'll tell you what. We're gonna after we bring the Lady Tsunade back, you and me are gonna have the best date ever, no matter what. I promise. Naruto's got that big grin, cheek-eating grin, or shit-eating grin, and or big cheeky smile. That's what I was trying to say. And just blesses it. Okay, it's like, okay, bye, and he gives her a quick kiss on the cheek, and they head out, and she's just blessing, kiss my cheek. So there you go. I liked when there's a pairing that is at least kind of actually active throughout the story. Because remember, Naruto was a shonen series. Pairings were not supposed to be a big thing. It's not a story about relationships in that sense. It's an action manga with a lot of story and good characters. But it's an action manga. Romance isn't the focus. But I always like to get a little cutesy, especially because, let's be honest. Assuming you like this pair, Hinata and Naruto, they're very cute together. And Naruto just says, don't prove too much that I'm gone, Sasuke. You better not waste time while I'm gone, Sasuke, because I'm going to be, according to Jiraiya, I'm going to be learning a new technique. And it's like, yeah, you say that now, but I'm going to be at least twice as strong. It's like, yeah. And they just glare at each other, and they give each other, handshake. And it's like, see you later, man. You too. And so they head out. Now the fight with Kakashi and Itachi and all that and Kurna and all of them, I don't see anything really changing in that. What I can see happening though is Kakashi maybe faring a little better because he is a bit stronger than his canon counterpart here, because he's had to train Naruto, who uses the Rinnegan, so he's had a bit more training, been training himself a bit more to increase his abilities, I think, to a certain degree. But he still gets laid to waste by Itachi. Now, remember, keep in mind, Itachi and Kasami do not know about the Rinnegan in terms of Naruto's eyes. So they're just after Naruto for the Nine Tails. But that still happens. And I think, honestly, with Itachi knocking out Kakashi and Jiraiya and Naruto on the way to go find Tsunade and obviously learn the Rasengan, that's a good place to stop for today. So part 15 is done. We'll see you on Wednesday for part 16. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know we'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superhero, Magic, what if, anything to do in the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get that at some point. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you folks next time. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I'll catch you later.